Hello, my name is Kate McGuire, and this is my presentation on the fun, focused stimulation therapy approach that is used to facilitate functional communication in children with specific language impairment. First, let's dive into what this approach is. Focused stimulation in speech therapy is a technique where a clinician repeatedly models target words or phrases in a naturalistic interaction, without explicitly asking the child to produce any words. The clinician models a set list of words or short phrases multiple times during natural play to facilitate comprehension and eventual language production. The part of language addressed in this method of therapy is semantics. This technique is used to develop vocabulary and functional communication. Focused stimulation is evidence-based. Studies have shown its effectiveness in teaching vocabulary, expanding language skills, and improving outcomes for children with various speech and language delays. Studies have also shown that focused stimulation can increase vocabulary size, expand phonemic inventories, and increase syllable structure repertoires. So it's pretty effective at enhancing language. Focused stimulation is naturalistic. The interactions are designed to feel natural and engaging, rather than like a formal drill or exercise. The facilitator should not manipulate or interfere with the child's play. This treatment is meant to expose the child to language in a non-aggressive and low-pressure manner. Modeling is a key technique used in this approach. The clinician uses modeling of high-frequency target words or phrases deliberately during interactions with the child. The target words are carefully selected, which I will go into later, and frequently repeated in a variety of contexts to generalize the term and facilitate comprehension. The clinician creates opportunities to model target words multiple times across a variety of contexts. This technique is used to develop vocabulary and functional communication in children with specific language impairment, specifically through repetitive exposure to high-frequency words. The general goal is to improve the child's comprehension and use of functional communication through repetitive, meaningful exposures and structured play-based interactions, the key word here being meaningful. The therapy goal addressed is receptive language, with the ability to expand expressive language as comprehension increases. As the child's understanding of the meaning of target words grows, they will eventually use the target words spontaneously during play, or they hopefully will. History. This approach evolved from the concept of parentese, or using an interactive style of speech in which the adult speaks in slower, shortened sentences, using simple vocabulary to talk about what the child is interested in or doing. This manner of speech is also called general language stimulation. Focused language stimulation uses techniques from general language stimulation to promote language development in children. In general language stimulation, the clinician may make changes to physical and linguistic environments to increase opportunities for the child to hear developmentally appropriate language. Some examples of general language strategies include commenting, narrating, modeling, allowing the child to make choices, pausing, and following the child's lead. This model of therapy is heavily child-led. But because children with vocabulary delays may already have been exposed to general language stimulation in the home, researchers developed a modified approach to what we now know as focused language stimulation. Focused language stimulation has adopted many of these strategies to use for vocabulary enhancement. From an article by Suzanne Hendler-Lederer, she explains that focused language stimulation includes many general language stimulation techniques, as well as the addition of frequent, highly concentrated repetitions of target vocabulary words that were selected prior to intervention. After target words are identified, adults create opportunities to model these words multiple times across a variety of contexts. Key components. Low pressure. Following the child's lead in terms of topic and activity allows for a low-pressure environment where the child is not required but encouraged to communicate, both verbally and non-verbally. Remember, the goal is comprehension, so the clinician does not explicitly ask the child to repeat or use target words, but rather provides ample opportunities for the child to hear them and potentially imitate them or produce the words later. If the child gets something incorrect, the facilitator should gently correct by repeating the correct word in association with its meaning. The clinician should avoid saying no or changing the activity due to an incorrect response. The point is to positively encourage language development. Repetition is another key component. Repetition helps the child associate new vocabulary, such as verbs or nouns, with actions or items. Within the context of games, the clinician should produce a target word a minimum of 5 times, in short but syntactically correct sentences or phrases. As the low-pressure model intends, the adult should not try to evoke a response from the child or even expect a response from the child. One advantage of this approach is that researchers have found that successful outcomes have been achieved when using professional and non-professional facilitators. This means that parents, teachers, speech-language pathology student clinicians like me, and speech-language pathologists can all conduct this therapy and yield positive results. On to target selection. So I'm going to describe a general outline for target selection. In step 1, the SLP needs to obtain a master list of vocabulary words and sound effects, such as animal noises, that the child can produce from the parents, caregivers, or any other appropriate professional who can contribute to this list. The child's phonemic inventory of speech sounds and syllables must also be identified. In step 2, 10 to 12 target vocabulary words are selected based on the sounds and syllables the child already can produce and language criteria, such as choosing developmentally appropriate words from various parts of speech that reflect the child's interests. This is a client-centered approach, and the words must adhere to the interests of the child, or the treatment will likely not be as effective. In step 3, the focused language stimulation approach is developed and implemented into treatment. This means facilitating scenarios or play-based opportunities where the child will be exposed to their set of target words. The play will be tailored to the child's interests to enhance engagement and potential comprehension of words. Techniques such as commenting, narrating, pausing, etc. from general language stimulation will be used during the child-led play alongside frequent, highly concentrated repetitions of target vocabulary. Step 4 occurs throughout treatment. The clinician monitors the child's vocabulary acquisition progress and determines what percentage of mastery the child has achieved of their target words. New targets are selected once the child has achieved mastery of previous target words. Responses. The expected response is a nonverbal receptive response, with verbal responses accepted and encouraged but not necessary. Nonverbal responses could include pointing to the correct object, repeating the action, for example, knocking on and opening a toy door as modeled by the clinician, or selecting the appropriate item. For example, picking up scissors and cutting when hearing cut for Play-Doh. Verbal responses will eventually include the client using the vocabulary verbally by narrating the action or naming the object. For example, saying open or cut with the associated action. In the following slide, I will be showing a therapy return demonstration of focused language stimulation, and these are the materials used. The veterinary clinic toy was used to facilitate comprehension and verbal expression of the functional words open and close. The Play-Doh toys were used to facilitate comprehension of the words cut and roll. I will now show you video examples of the focused stimulation approach. These videos show how the clinician functionally models and narrates with low pressure while repeating stimulus words. Note how the clinician responds when the child produces correct nonverbal and incorrect nonverbal responses. First, we will look at correct nonverbal.
We roll Play-Doh, roll, roll, roll. I'm rolling Play-Doh. I roll again, and I cut Play-Doh, cut Play-Doh. I cut Play-Doh. You cut Play-Doh. We cut.
Now we will look at incorrect nonverbal responses.
We have Play-Doh. We rolled Play-Doh, and now we cut Play-Doh. We cut. We cut with scissors. We cut, cut.
Now
we have Play-Doh. We will fold.
Now we will look at correct and incorrect verbal. These videos show examples of how the clinician functionally models and narrates with low pressure while repeating stimulus words. Note how the clinician responds to correct and incorrect verbal responses. Let's look at correct verbal first.
Then, what's inside? It's a car. Wow. Car drives. All done, car. We close door. Should we open? Let's see. What's inside? Let's open door. It's a yellow car. Car goes in. Let's close door. Close door. Should we open door? Open. Open door. What's inside?
Now let's look at how the clinician responds to incorrect verbal responses.
Knock, knock, knock. What's inside? Should we open? Open door. We open door. What's inside? It's a boy. The boy is walking. The boy. Okay, all done, boy. And a closed door. We close door. Knock, knock, knock. What's inside? Should we open? Let's open door. Take out girl. It's girl. Girl's walking. All done, girl. Goes inside. Close door. Open door. We're going to close door. All done, girl. Knock, knock. What's inside? Is boy in there? Close. Close. We open. We open door. And boy's inside. And we close door. All done. Knock, knock, knock. What's open?
Thank you. That was my presentation on focused language stimulation. And here are my references. Thank you.